think it's about 7:30 in the morning and the rain is just stopping. We've had rain all night, so it's been pretty strong rain, and it's supposed to start again later today, so I do have a bunch of stuff I want to get done today. This week has been a really quiet week. It's just been me and Peach this week. The weather has been very bizarre. It's been really windy, really rainy, then we'll have one nice sunny day and then it'll just go right back to rain. Definitely a lot more rain that I've seen in the last 3 years in October, but I think we're supposed to get a lot of rain this year. Peach is doing well. I think she's a bit frustrated with how she doesn't like the rain. She'll go outside in the rain, but she kind of likes it. She'll just sometimes forget she's in the rain, and then all of a sudden she'll remember she's in the rain, and then she'll just kind of do this, and then she'll get distracted and with something, and then she'll forget again and have fun. But in general, when it's raining, she's always pretty happy to go back inside. So yeah, but the wind for sure, we're not outside in these big winds just because, you know, we're under trees and stuff like that, and there's lots of branches that fall. So this morning I thought I'd answer a couple more questions that people posted last week. This is from Zoom Patrol. Because you're so capable on land and water, were you a long-time sailor before buying your boat? Thanks. I'm not. I've got a lot to learn on both land and water. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd call myself capable, because I do have a lot to learn. But my history with boating goes back to when I was in my 20s. A girlfriend of mine, we thought it would be fun to join the sailing club in Vancouver, mostly because we thought we'd meet some cute guys, which we never did. But we really enjoyed the sailing. Did we do that for one season? I think I did it for 2 seasons and she did it for 1 season, and we just went out in like little tasers, and then in the second season we started, we as in the other class that I took, we started going out in the bigger boats. I think they had a 24-foot boat that had like one of those dagger boards down the middle that you pull out, and it's the kind of boat where you have to pull it in and out of the water every time you use it. So those first 2 years I ended up getting my White Sails 1 and White Sails 2. I think that's what it was called. And then a few years later, another friend of mine and I decided to get our White Sails 3 at the Royal Vancouver Yacht Club. So we ended up doing that, and we went out, I think it was in a 28-foot boat for that whole course. I remember we showed up, it was the last day, the day of our test, to see if we passed, and we showed up and we sat and waited and waited and waited, and our instructor never showed up, so we ended up never getting tested for our White Sails 3. So I can't technically say that I have my White Sails 3 because I was never tested. And then I didn't really sail after that. I did join in Vancouver in the yacht club. There's a circle, I think it's called the Crew Circle, and if you want to go for a sail, like they do racing every weekend or something like that. I don't remember, this is so long ago, but you go stand in the Crew Circle, and you can get picked to crew a boat in a race, but really you're just dead weight. They just need you to sit on the side of the boat as dead weight. I was never picked because I think back then I was like 120 pounds soaking wet. So yeah, I never got picked from the Crew Circles. Many years later, I was offered the opportunity to buy into a boat in one of the civic marinas in Vancouver. And if anyone has ever tried to get a spot in a Civic Marina in Vancouver, you know it's a massive waiting list. It's really long, and really the only way you can get in is to buy into a boat that has a spot in there. And the only way I was able to do that is because the original owner of the boat was selling 50% of his boat, because he was getting older, his wife was getting older, and they just weren't going out as much, but he didn't want to give it up altogether. So I ended up buying 50% of that sailboat, and it was great because the spot in the Civic Marina was great. At that point, I had never sailed by myself, so I had a good friend that really just took me by the hand, and he went out with me the first few times and kind of showed me the ropes of the boat. The sailboat was a Sun Yacht 27, so it's a 27-foot sailboat, really old one. I think it was like a 1970s or something like that. But the first few times, yeah, he went out with me. And then I still remember the first time I went out by myself on that boat. It was my first time ever by myself on a sailboat. My friend who, was helping me, drum up the courage to do it, he was at work, and the challenge he had given me that day, he said, Amanda, today is your day. You're going out, and you're going out by yourself. And so I had to get out of the slip by myself, back it out, get out of the marina, get out into English Bay. Yeah, I was so scared. I nearly threw up. I was so scared. It took me 3 hours of just walking up and down the dock, of just trying to force myself to, because the boat was running. I had the boat running, and I literally was just staring at the lines on the dock for 3 hours. And I remember very clearly the feeling. But anyway, so after 3 hours, I finally did it, and I backed out. I almost hit the boat next to me, but I didn't, thank goodness. But it was close. I backed out, I got out into Falls Creek, and I got out into English Bay, and I literally just sat out there, like, just shaking like a leaf. I was so scared. So I tootled around a bit, so that I wasn't very scared tootling around. That was fun. But in the back of my mind, I just kept thinking, I gotta go back, and I gotta dock by myself. I've got to go back and dock. So when I came into Falls Creek and I was getting into my spot, my friend who was helping me, he drove one of the Falls Creek ferries. He worked for the Aquabus, so he was in the Aquabus. And I texted him when I was coming in, and he was doing the run between Granville Island and Falls Creek. Not that any of you know what those places are, but some of you might. Anyway, so he ended up, he was so goofy. He ended up coming, and he was floating because there were no passengers on either side. So when there's no passengers on either side, he just floats right in the middle, waiting to see where he has to go next. So he was floating right in the middle of Falls Creek, and I came in, and he's like, "Yeah, Amanda, you can do it." And I was just like, "Oh no, now I have an audience." But yeah, so he sat there and watched me, and I managed to do it. I think sometimes for me, when I have people watching me, I actually do better. I know that's the opposite. Oh, I just kicked the camera. I know that's the opposite of what people say, but for me, I'll often perform better when people are watching me. I don't know why. But anyway, so I ended up docking all right. When I came in, this is the dock, the boat was here. The wind was pushing me this way, so I ended up kind of going away from my dock, and there's a boat right next to me. So I ended up just running to the side, to the starboard side, and I just pushed against him. I didn't hit him, but I just managed to push him off, and then I just went back to my side, and then I ran around and jumped off, and then I tied the midship line, and then just got it, so it wasn't going to go anywhere, and then did the rest of my lines. So anyways, yeah, that was the story. I had that boat for 3 years, maybe even 4 years. And because I was in the marina it must have been 4 years. So I was there 4 years. And the owner who owned the other 50%, he said, do you want to just buy me out? We're retiring. They're joining the tennis club or something. So I said, yeah, I'll buy you out. So I bought him out, and I owned the whole boat, and I was able to stay in the marina and keep that spot because I had been there for 4+ years. So to give you an example of the wait list in Vancouver for a spot, I've been on the wait list at, I think it's the Heather Civic Marina in Vancouver since 2013. And I believe at this point, I'm still like 30th in line. So it's like a 20-year wait to get a spot in those marinas. But anyways, so I had that spot, and I had my condo downtown, and I just found myself on my boat all the time. Summers I was gone most of the time, and in the winters I just wanted to be on the boat. The boat was old, and I knew I was going to eventually, I decided at that point that I eventually wanted to live on my boat and just start sailing and then do my freelance work off-grid. So I started looking for a newer boat, and I ended up finding the boat I have now. And yeah, so I sold my condo. I bought this boat. My battery just died. I'm really hoping this battery lasts. So I ended up selling my condo, bought my new boat, sold my old boat, and then I headed north to work for 7 months as a caretaker at a resort in Desolation Sound. Yeah, so then after that, I just hung around Vancouver for a while, and then when COVID hit, I just pulled anchor and I just went north, and now here I am. So, whoa. So, yeah, so to answer your question, that's my experience with sailing. But I definitely have a lot to learn. I think I've mentioned this in a previous video. I'm not somebody who loves to just go out and sail. Like if I go out in my boat, I have an adventure I'm going on. I'm not somebody who'll just take it out just to drive around the bay. That just doesn't interest me too much. So if I'm if I'm getting on my boat and I'm going somewhere, I'm going on an adventure. But anyway, so I should move this along. So today, I want to finish moving the rest of that wood. The rain you can sort of hear it still. But I am going to move the rest of that wood, and then there's just a couple of other things I have to do today. Yeah, but we'll see what I get up to. one. Three. Good job. Yeah. I gotta tie you up again, Munchkin. Come here. Hi, come here. I'm sorry. Come here, Dobby. I just gotta tie you up just for a bit. There you go. No. No. Hey, leave it. No. No. Okay, Mama, I won't get you, I promise. Rosa? You like it? How come? Delicious. Why do you like it? Kale. Oh my god, you just ate it. Oh, you like it? Okay. You can have more kale. Here. You are weird. Oh, wait. Is that good? Oh my gosh, you're eating it. Sweetie pie, come. Good job. you.